Welcome to Gail's Garden, Herbs, and More. Okay, I'm going to be talking about different things that you might not think about eating that you can eat. Right here, what I'm doing, and I did this yesterday and it turned out wonderful too. I did some juicing, but I had to thin out my carrots and I thought I really don't want to waste. These are weed seeds that keep blowing from the field. And I'm trying to clear those off. No, I don't want to eat those. They're like cattails. That's what they are. Anyway, I'm always fighting the seeds, these weeds, no matter. I'm either eating them or if I can't eat them, I'm trying to get them out. When you thin your carrots, don't throw those little thinned carrots away. Now, they're going to be too little to eat, but the tops are wonderful to juice. So, I had never really thought about it. I know my granddaughter likes to eat the little mini carrots, but sometimes there's so many you can't, being so tiny, that you can't even eat them. Like these are really smaller than my other ones. I actually had some little bitty carrots on the others. Now that, I thought it was carrots. This is not a carrot root. Boy, I got surprised on here. Okay, there was another plant I had never tried before that I planted somewhere. I thought it was here, but I thought it was one that didn't come up because I had this all planted in the middle and that never even came up. So I thought it was those seeds, but this does not look like the top looks like carrots. I was thinning out on the other side of the garden yesterday, so I let these go. I'm going to thin them a little bit, but since there's no roots, I don't have to. Let's see. This has got to be, now see, this is we're writing down what, yeah, these are not carrots. Would you believe that is not a carrot? Boy, the tops really look like carrots. Now, I'm mad at myself because I didn't write down. Somehow, I got a hold of these seeds that I had never grown, and I don't know if somebody sent them to me, or they came in a package as a gift or something. I don't know. Gosh, it's been so long back, and I've had so many other things going. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Let me get my little disabled chihuahua. He's fell and can't get up. There he goes. Him got up. Uh-oh, got something all over him. You've got something wet on you. Okay. Okay, guys, help me out. What is this? Me, the one that's supposed to know about plants. Of course, I don't know everything. There's so much about plants I don't know. All I can do is share with you what I do know, and everybody share with each other. Can you see that? Can you see it? Look. And it's got, these are the roots. So there's a bunch of little tiny roots. These are not carrots. They don't even smell like carrots. Oh gosh, I know this is that. They really, really look like carrot tops. Well, that'll be something to eat that I've never eaten before. I wish they hadn't pulled it now. They're growing just fine. But yeah, yesterday I pulled carrot tops and juiced them. Okay, now the next thing is weeds. Now, I cultivate some weeds. Like, this is called self-heal, and it usually just grows in your lawn or the side of a field, and I'm starting to get flowers. The most medicinal part of this self-heal is the flowers. There's a little bit, I'm sure, in the leaves. I usually get some leaves and flowers, and they're actually kind of pretty. They're not real big flowers. They're small. These, I make sure they get water, a little bit of fresh dirt and food, so they're probably a little bit bigger than maybe some you might find in your lawn. Out in a meadow or something, they might get pretty good size from natural nutrition. I don't know. I just grow my own. And it's a very good herb that I'll get into individually another time. I'm sure you all know what this is. This is an old Mullen plant. And here's a younger one that's going to come up with a stalk this year. The first year growth is the best for the leaves for harvesting. But I have other videos on that. But it is a weed, but I also cultivate it. Okay, and you all know about lamb's quarters. It is another weed that comes up and people get mad, and those that cuss it out. But I actually planted it, and I just planted it here, but it's coming up in pots and everywhere. I don't know how the seeds get in all the different places. There's one over there coming up by my tomato. Yeah, and it's clear down the other end of my garden, so it must ride on my clothes from the wind or something, the seeds. I don't know, but it's wonderful. I can't eat it all. I forgot to put some in my juice yesterday, but it would probably juice up pretty good. I give some to my chickens. I eat some. It's good with scrambled eggs. But yeah, these are weeds that you don't want to just pull out and throw away. I mean, everybody knows about dandelions. You keep those. A lot of people don't, though. They dig them up. Another person here that on this property dug up all the dandelions out of my yard. I think I found one this year. But there is a few other weeds that he missed. That was disappointing. Yeah. Now, something that you can do, and to be honest, I haven't, but I'm really seriously thinking about doing it. These broadleaf, see these leaves? They would have a lot of juice in them, but you can't digest the fiber in them. So if times get really hard, you can go out and pick some of these, especially the ones that have the tops to them like this. It kind of looks like oats, but you want to do it when they're green, or ones with that seed. You know it's a grass. You can juice those and just throw the fiber away. Or even if you don't have a juicer, you can even chew on them and spit the fiber out. But they are, any of your grass seed weeds, you can eat like that. You just can't eat them and swallow them because we don't have a bunch of stomachs like a cow. But the juice we could digest. Because it's so dry, we're getting so many bugs like this right here. There's just, well, that one looks, I don't know what that is. Look at that. But anyway, you see these young tender chips? This is a blackberry vine, and a lot of people cuss these things too. I don't cuss, or I would probably cuss them, but because they just, even though I eat these tips and the berries, they're very, very evasive. I watch these homesteaders that plant blackberry vines, and I'm going, oh, and they'll plant them right in their garden. I mean, you are really asking for some extra work, is my opinion, because they just grow underneath the ground, and you can't hardly get rid of them unless you electrify them, like that one video I have of my son, which he never has time to come over anymore and do that for me. But yeah, you can eat the vine itself. If it's there and you can't get rid of it, eat it. Actually, skullcap grows wild, and it does spread out underneath the ground by rhizomes and stuff too. One of the reasons for keeping it in this pool to keep it kind of contained. I need to get a little bit bigger pool, though. I want it to spread more than what it is. So, I guess some people would consider it an invasive herb. Not as invasive as some, but it is invasive in a way. But still, it is so medicinal and so good that I cultivate it too. I wish these were open right now. If I have a single picture, I'll try to put it in. This is hibiscus. A lot of people just grow flowers. They're really not into growing vegetables and herbs and stuff. And this is a beautiful, beautiful flower. But you can take the individual, and I'm going to pick this because it blossomed yesterday. And you go, oh, Miss Gail, don't pick that. It's so pretty. It won't open again. I enjoyed it yesterday. But you just take the petals, and you can fresh or dried. I think I'm going to, well, I already drank some this morning of a different thing. But you can I have some drying. I think I'll just add this to my dried. I haven't tried this yet. I mean, I've drank hibiscus tea, but not my own. When they're open, they're gorgeous. But yeah, you can make a tea out of the flower petals. Now, I wouldn't put this part in. I'll take that off. There you go. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take the petals off and lay them out in my dryer. But yeah, most people just think of it as a beautiful plant, but it makes a wonderful tea. And a lot of people don't think about that that's what they're drinking in some of their store-bought teas. Okay, now here's a zucchini plant. Another video, I think I put it on Rumble about how we're dying here. My plants are some of the trees are dying. I didn't put it on YouTube. I've got trees with just big bare branches. They're just dying. My fruit trees are dying. My plants I've really been trying. I keep this. It wasn't too wet. It wasn't dry. That dry wind that we have in the afternoons that comes up, it's just killing everything, and it just sucks the water out that I water in the mornings. Although this one is still slightly damp, it shouldn't have done that, but it looks like it's trying to come back. I'm thankful. But for something that people don't think about eating, you can eat zucchini leaves. Just wash them, shred them up, put them in a stir fry. My honeysuckle doesn't look too good. I've got to get it out of this pot, and it's too heavy for me to lift up, and I can't seem to find anybody to help right now. But you can use honeysuckle flowers. Most people, you can find them, especially I'm back in Kentucky. They grew wild everywhere. It smells so good walking through areas where it was just growing along creeks and stuff. Oh, that smells so good. But yeah, you can look that up. You can eat that. Another thing people don't think about is lilacs. Now these are all dried up. Sorry guys, it's done. But yeah, you can use lilacs. They are edible. Check out the different parts if you're interested in one of these. Just Google them and you can see how to prepare them or how to use them. I'm not going into individuals. I'm just giving you a general idea on things that you can think about if times get hard, or you just want to experiment, or you want to cultivate something. That is an oak tree, a very prolific oak tree. It's like weeds trying to pull up all the little oak plants that are coming up. Acorns are wonderful. I've made several times. I've made acorn bread. When my kids were little, I used to make it just after I leached the tannins and stuff out of the acorns. I just mixed it in with my cornbread. This last year, I think, or year before, I made some sweet bread with it, and I mix it with different flours and stuff, and it was pretty good. I made like little muffins and stuff, and I took some to a friend that we bowled with. He's a doctor, MD, and he had never tried them. It was something he wanted to try, so I took him a batch, him and his wife. But yeah, you can eat acorns off a tree. Actually, it's really good, but you just have to get the tannins out. It's a little bit of work, but you know, everything's a little bit of work. Okay, here's some weeds growing up around my pots and stuff. This one is mallow, one of a great, you can eat these in salads. It gets little seeds that look like little round cheese wheels that you can munch on that are good. These are really, really good. Good for you too. Very melaginous, good for your stomach. It's actually an herb, but a good vegetable. A lot of things are bolting because we've been running in the 90s here. Yeah, the beginning of May in the 90s, it's just unheard of. Probably not unheard of, but unusual. I would eat these before they bolt, but a lot of leaves you can eat that come up. You don't have to just eat whatever it is you're growing. In the brassica family, you don't have to eat just the broccoli or whatever. The leaves, these are very nutritious I think about any of your brassicas. They're very good for you to juice, to put in stir fries, anything like that. Yeah, brassica leaves are great. These are sweet potato leaves. Everybody thinks about sweet potatoes, and they are wonderful. But the leaves are one of my favorites. Of all of these things that most people don't think about eating, I love sweet potato leaves. They are awesome. Yeah, you need to try sweet. Now, you don't want to just pull all the leaves off. You've got to pick a few here and there. And pretty soon this will be trailing over and onto the ground and all over the place. That's how it was last year. And I would pick, when it was really big, I could pick plenty of leaves, more than I could eat, and still leave it for the plant too. So yeah, sweet potato leaves are wonderful, and a lot of people don't think about eating sweet potato leaves. I don't know if you can tell way up there, but it's getting ready to blossom. This is an elderberry, and most people know you eat the berries on elderberry, but some people may not. I think most of you know, but some may not know that the blossoms are just, if not more medicinal than the berries. They're really, really good. I just take them, dry them, put them in a jar, and then I can mix them with the elderberries in making a syrup, or just make a tea by themselves, or mix them with other things. But yeah, the blossoms on the elderberry are wonderful too. Most people know about the little rose hips that are left after the flowers die, but the roses themselves, as long as you're not getting them from a florist, because those are sprayed heavily, but if you grow them yourselves, I pick all of these. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to harvest these two that are opened. They smell wonderful too. But I put the whole rose in there, and I take it off the vine and put it in my dryer and dry it and put it in a jar. And it's great for mixing with other things, for my oil for my face, or you can put them in teas. Very good for you. Roses are very, very edible. But yeah, these are just a few things I wanted you to keep in mind. If you've watched my videos very long, you know that some of these, you know about most of these because I talk about them. But for new people, and then just kind of putting a bunch of them together, just keep in your mind, if you don't want to use them right now, if times get hard, some things that you can eat. And like I said, a lot of it's not just that I can, but I actually cultivate them and eat them. It's just like a lot of people like to grow these flowers of the nasturtiums, and these are wonderful in salads, which most people know, but I actually make an antibiotic out of the leaves. I could just go on and on and on. Everybody gets focused on just a few things because, more than you know, we've been brainwashed over the years. Just a lot of corporations and stuff want to push their stuff that they sell, and over and over and over, and pretty soon you forget about stuff that isn't mainstream because we all watch so much media, and we just kind of get drawn along a path without realizing it, and forget things that are out there that are probably more nutritious than what they're advertising. So anyway, just a few things to share with you. I hope you enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up, please, to help my channel go out, and share on your social media. And I hope you all have a blessed day. God has truly blessed us with many things. He says in His Word that He's given us the plants and herbs for medicine, for food. And there's an abundance out there that sometimes we don't even think about. But anyway, God bless, and au revoir. There are so many things that you can eat that I'm not going to get them all in this video, but besides the grapes, you can use the grape leaves. I've used them as coverings when I'm doing different vinegars and different things to I put them down over the top, and then a little glass thing to hold the plant material underneath whatever I'm extracting it with. I've used them in making pickles. You can do wraps with them for a lot of Greek dishes. I mean, there's just a lot of things you can do with grape leaves. This is one of my apple trees, and not only do I eat the apples if I get them. This sure doesn't look like we don't have too many. But I dry some of the leaves and I mix it with other teas. I don't drink it every day. Some leaves, there's certain things in them that if you drink it every day is probably not the best. I don't think it hurts you, but I mean, it just depends. If you drink gallons of it, maybe. But I do a lot of mixing in little bits here and little bits there. But apple leaves are actually pretty good in teas. This is an olive tree. And I also, not only can you eat olives, but you can use the leaves and they are super, super healthy for you. There's some really beneficial things in olive leaves, and I make tea out of that sometimes. And this is peach leaves. I not only do I eat the peaches, but the peach leaves are one of my favorites for teas. I love peach leaf tea. Now, I've had somebody that said they couldn't taste it. There has been times I couldn't taste it or smell it too. Kind of like my anise hyssop and stuff. There's times it just does. I don't. It makes a difference. I think the time of day maybe that you pick your leaves and stuff. Sometimes I can really smell the peach on the dried leaves. It makes my tea. I get that fresh summer flavor in the middle of winter. I'm really trying to be careful with my leaves and herbs and stuff to dry them gentler. I don't get rid of the volatile oils that are really good for you. Yeah, so there's an abundance of things. If times get super hard that you can use, or even, well, already the price in the groceries and stuff's getting ridiculous. But you can substitute and stretch your food out. And even if you don't want to do that, just in general, you get extra nutrition that you don't get with store-bought foods. And things that you already have handy to stretch out your food. Just so many things. But I hope this all helps and maybe gives people some ideas. Well, that was an extra tip at the end of the video for you on the different tree leaves.